Welcome back to the show, everybody. James Rule, XRP, on this Tuesday evening, November 11th, 2025. Happy Veterans Day to all of the vets out there that have served our country, that has watched over our beautiful country for years and years and years. Hats off to you guys and gals, and we do appreciate every one of you. James Rule XRP at Rule XRP on X. Yes, I'm still under the weather. Yes, my voice doesn't sound right. So I go to New York. I go to Ripple Swell. I had a fantastic time meeting the community, meeting Ripple, meeting banks, meeting builders. I mean, all the above. And then I come back. I go to the doctor Saturday, and they say, James, you have COVID. So I either have COVID or the flu or the crud, but I feel so much better because I've slept so much in the past several days. I'm starting to get over whatever this was and get back on track to getting the news out there. So I have some really exciting, super exciting news for you today, because Uphold is now bringing back the Uphold crypto-enabled debit card. The card with the most XRP rewards. You can earn up to 6% XRP on everything you buy, people. There's a link below, the first link at the bottom right there. You can go in, you can sign up for Uphold, you can get one of these beautiful cards, and you can get up to 6% back on any purchase. So the eligibility is for U.S. residents in the United States and Washington, D.C. It's not available in Louisiana, New York, or U.S. territories. There's two different types of cards you can get. You can get the Elite card for $99.99 a year. There's zero virtual card fee, zero physical card fee, zero ATM fees. And check this out. You can get 6% in XRP back when you make purchases using crypto, fiat, stablecoins, and metals for 3 months after activating your card, up to $300 in XRP, people. The Essential card, which is a plastic card, is $4.99. You get up to 4% in XRP, up to $120 for purchases using crypto, fiat, stablecoins, and metals. So you're going to get XRP back if you spend your Bitcoin, if you spend your Ethereum, if you spend your USDC, if you spend your RLUSD, if you spend your gold. You're going to get 6% back on the Elite card and 4% back on the Essential card. Check it out. Now, back in 2020, I spent my XRP on the MasterCard. It's now Visa, but everywhere I went, I spent my XRP and I got XRP back. And thank goodness they're back with it. Okay, let's look at numbers. Total market cap, 3.55 trillion. Bitcoin is around 102,000. Ethereum, 3,400. XRP, we went up a bit. We've dropped a little bit, $2 and almost 40 cents. And they are talking that the government shutdown is going to be ending here very shortly. That needs to happen. The XRP ETFs are about to go live. And right here, Diana gets this out here. Paul Barron interviewed Stephen McClurg with Canary Capital. And this is what he had to say about how much impact XRP is going to be.
How do you think these XRP ETFs will perform against that?
Yeah, I actually think that XRP will probably double what Solana did in its first week and even today, as far as volume and as far as total AUM. If you just even look at the market caps of the two tokens, XRP is about 50% higher than Solana. Yeah. But the difference is, and we experienced this with HBAR last week or 2 weeks ago now, the HBAR ETF experienced $70 million in inflows just in the first 3 days. And it's because it's really well known among institutional circles and enterprise investors. Yeah. So even though it's not a big retail product, it doesn't have a ton of volume, it's got the right kind of interest, and that's how XRP is. Look, we've been a big fan of XRP for a long time. Even during the time when Ripple was going through all of its, I would call it persecution. Yeah. They went through a persecution. They took one for the team. And when I say the team, everybody that's involved in crypto, a lot of things that they did and they fought for ended up playing out to be, where we are today. Yeah. If it wasn't for them, fighting back against that persecution. So we've been right there alongside them, with them, supporting them. They've supported us. I'm a big fan of Brad Garlinghouse. I'm a big fan of that team.
How do you?
So, yeah, I mean, Stephen was at Ripple Swell. I got to meet him. Incredible individual, Canary Capital. They love XRP. All of these other organizations love XRP. And mentioning Canary Capital, Ellie Tarrant got this out today. It says that Canary Funds has filed its Form 8-A. This is the final step before it goes effective at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time Wednesday, tomorrow, once the NASDAQ certifies the listing. When that happens, the launch hurdle is cleared, and the first XRP spot ETF will set to launch Thursday of this week at market open, people. Get excited. Cointelegraph gets this out there. Look. 11 XRP ETF products now appear on the DTCC website. Analysts say the end of the U.S. shutdown could open ETF floodgates for XRP, and they say $5 next. Bring it on, baby. Bring on a $5 XRP. We've been waiting a long time for that. Here's all the listings: 21 shares, Pro Shares, Bitwise, Canary, Volatility, ETF Opportunities, CoinShares, Amplify, ETF Opportunities, Osprey, Rex Osprey, Volatility Shares, and Franklin Templeton XRP ETF, people. It's happening. Here's some more exciting news. Just 2 years ago, and this is Nate Garachi, we had then SEC Chair Gary Gensler indicating that proof-of-stake tokens were securities. Well, today we have the U.S. Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, providing tax clarity on staking in ETFs that now hold those very same proof-of-stake tokens. We've come so far. That means that organizations that are offering these ETFs are now going to be able to incorporate staking within the ETFs to pay out the individuals with staking profits. IRS introduces safe harbor allowing tax-free staking for crypto ETPs, people. This is massive. It says under revenue procedure 2025-31, ETFs and trusts are now allowed to stake digital assets that share the rewards directly with investors. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent stated on November 10th that the move is intended to enhance investor benefits, promote innovation, and maintain America's position as a global leader in digital asset and blockchain technology. I'll leave a link to everything we talk about here. Finally, Dan Moorhead with Pantera Capital interviewed Brad Garlinghouse. Regulatory headwinds are now tailwinds, scaling liquidity and institutional partnership for the next phase of crypto adoption. Listen, and this is just a small clip. I'll leave this below so you can watch the entire interview. Check this out.
I think the inevitable march of pursuit of these technologies can't be stopped. You had Gary Gensler out there pontificating about how the crypto is the Wild West. Like, that is the furthest thing from the truth. Like, the people I knew were trying to give us clear rules, help us understand those rules, and don't just sue us without actually providing that guidance. And so, it took a while, but we're finally in a happier place. The idea that there's one internet doesn't really make sense. I think Ripple's always tried to champion, if crypto does well, that's going to probably be really good for Ripple. And so we've invested almost $3 billion in other crypto initiatives. Now, some of those are XRP specific. Some of those are limited partners in funds that support lots of different things. But we think if crypto does well, it's good for us. And it's part of the reason you alluded to this, but we felt it was so important to fight the fight with the SEC and the last administration because it was important for crypto. And if somebody didn't fight that fight, that was going to be bad for our industry.
You guys are the original dad, right? You are the original company that owns a bunch of tokens, right?
Yes. I think what we have found is it makes sense to have anchor players within an ecosystem. We are the most interested party in XRP's success. We care immensely about the vibrancy, the utility, the liquidity of the XRP ecosystem. But the nice thing is the breadth of participants in the XRP ecosystem has changed dramatically. And so we want to build products and services that customers love and are happy to pay for and have the symbiotic relationship of driving liquidity in the XRP ecosystem. If the largest economy in the world goes from headwinds to tailwinds, I think we are underpriced that shift. And I think that'll play out over the 6, 12, 18 months.
The next 6, 12, 18 months, liquidity. If you own XRP, You are part of the liquidity on top of the XRP ledger. Years down the road, when all of the XRP begins being scooped up for liquidity purposes by financial institutions, by banks around the world, and you are still holding your XRP, the value of that XRP, the value of possibly making profits off of your initial investment by loaning out your XRP, baby. Holding the principal, making profits off the top, never having to sell those XRP is in the very near future. So have a wonderful evening. Hopefully I'm a little more bright-eyed and bushy-tailed tomorrow morning. I'm taking my medication. Hopefully I sound a little bit better tomorrow, but have a great evening. Get excited. Some amazing things are happening. We'll see you on the flip side. And don't forget, I told you so.